Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today I want to show you how to export your project as a standalone executable file for Windows. That means you won't need to launch the whole editor to player experience. You can just run it on its own and you can give it to others to run as well. So to get started, I'm going to go to Edit, Project Settings. And the first settings we'll be presented with are the description settings. Over here, you could set all sorts of details for your project, like the project's formal name, what version you're on, what is your company name, so on and so forth. None of these will have a functional effect on your build, but it's good to know that this is here. Next, I will go over here to packaging. And here I can define whether I'm building a shipping build or a development build. A development build is for when you are exporting a in-progress version of the project that is meant for you or to be shared with other people working on the project. Whereas a shipping build is for when you intend to distribute the build to people outside of your project. So I'm going to select development build. And if you so choose, you can check this to do a fold rebuild of your project every time you make a standalone build. This will recompile everything every time you make a new standalone build, and it will take more time, but if you do a full rebuild, it should avoid any potential problems with old leftover build data. I'm going to go ahead and leave it unchecked though, because again, it takes more time every time you do a rebuild. Next, I'm going to go to Maps and Modes. And this one is really important. You want to set your game default map. So the game default map will be whatever map that your experience starts on first. So if you have a main menu or a title screen of sorts, this is what you would want to put as your game default map. I don't have anything like that right now in this project, so instead I'm just going to make this my door example map that I've been working on in the last couple of videos. If you like, you can also set your editor startup map here, which is the map that the editor will launch to when you first boot it up. So I'll set that to the door example as well. This is more of a convenience for yourself rather than something that affects the build. Next, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go down to Platforms, Windows. And here are settings pertaining specifically to the Windows platform. I'm going to leave all these alone, but it's good to take a look at where these settings are, especially because here you can set your game splash screen and your game icon, in case you don't want to use the default Unreal ones. So once you're finished with all that, you can close the project settings and we can get to building. So I'm going to go up to Platforms, Windows, Package Project. And when you open that up, usually it will open up to your project folder. And you can save your standalone projects here, but I would recommend saving them to a different folder. So I have a separate location for that. I'm going to enter in and I'm going to hit select folder. And once I do that, it's going to start packaging the project for Windows. If you like, you can watch the progress by opening the output log. And this will probably take a while. So if you're looking to take a break, this is the chance, as even a small project could take 20 minutes or so to compile. Now, when I tried to build my project, I ran into a build error, which basically means one little error caused my entire build to fail, and I won't be able to make a build of this project until I fix the error. But I may have found the cause. So in my output log, which I can access by clicking this tab here, just under my content browser, there are two lines here in red which outline what error Unreal ran into when making the build. So it's a little bit difficult to parse out what the issue is, but it mentions something about an unknown structure. And the errors also mention two blueprints, SG_save user settings and VR_game instance. So I'm going to search for the two blueprints that were mentioned in the errors by going to my content folder, which contains everything else. And up in the search bar, I'm going to search for Saver to find Saver use settings. I'm going to open that up. And then I'm going to search again for game instance and open up the VR game instance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh the nodes in each of these and recompile them and see if that fixes my problem. I did a little digging and found that this is a recurring problem with the GDXR Ultimate VR template. So if you're using the same template, you may run into the same issue. So to refresh all the nodes in the VR game instance blueprint, I'm going to go to File and go down here to refresh all nodes, hit compile and save. I'm then going to go over here to SG Save User Settings, go to File, refresh all nodes, compile and save. And I didn't see it listed in the output log, but it did read that the WBP_hand menu could be a problem as well. So I'm going to look up hand menu, open that up, go to File, refresh all nodes, compile and save. Once I've done all that, I'm going to go to Platforms, Windows, Package Project again. And now my packaging is complete. It looks like that was the problem. So again, if you run into this issue with build error, sometimes you just need to recompile the nodes in the mentioned blueprints. So now that's done, I'm going to open up that new folder, Windows, and I'm going to launch the exe. And here we are. We are in my VR project. It's fully built. It's running on its own without the editor. It's good to test to make sure everything's working the same. Sure enough, it is. So with that, that's how you make a standalone build of your VR experiences. And with that, I wish you luck in your building process. It can be a bit frustrating if you run into issues, but just have patience and read those notes carefully. And with luck, it should not be too much of a hassle. So with that, I hope you have a good one.